Hey there guys, welcome back to episode 2 of EVE Online. I managed to skip the tutorial. Now, I don't think that's recommended. Don't go skipping the tutorial, especially if this is your first time playing EVE, because not only does it give you a broad insight to all the things that you can do and how to do them, but it also gives you a lot of free stuff. Luckily, I bought this version on Steam, so if we go to my item hanger, I've already got a ton of items because I got it with some deal. That's what prompted me to get it. The subscription was a bit cheaper, so thus I got it and started the series. So I got it with a load of bonuses, and as you can see, I've got loads of skill books here that will need to be taught. We've got this Amar frigate book here, and I'll talk about that in a second. If we go to the ship hangar here, I've also got a Sarum Magnate. Now, you start off with this guy. This is a Velator. Now, if we look at this, we right click and click Show Info, and then we click Velator. There we go. So that is basic starter ship sort of material. You can see that the hit points aren't too great, like 225 capacity. Cargo capacity is only 135, so it's not like a mining ship or anything like that. And the drone capacity is only 10 meters cubed, and it's only therefore got a drone bandwidth of 10 megabytes or megabits per second. You need a high, the route I'm going with Galent, you need a higher drone bandwidth because I want to sort of do this down the drone route. The ship that I was given by ordering it through Steam is this Sarum Magnate. Now if we do the same thing, we click Show Info on here, we'll see that this ship is a little bit better in the HP, a bit better, like quite a bit better in capacity, but that's still tiny compared to some of the ships you can get. But the drone capacity is 40 and drone bandwidth is 15. So if your drones only use 5 megabits per second, you can use 3 drones at any one time with this ship, as opposed to the Velator, which is you only get to use 2 drones at a time. So if we have a quick look at this, show info, and then we'll click on here. The only problem with this is an Amar frigate, and I am not trained to fly Amar frigates just yet. It's a mean looking beast though, isn't it? It's a pretty cool looking ship. And you can zoom in as much as you want and zoom out. Very cool. And it's a pretty neat looking design, pretty badass. I think it will suit Destiny well. And now, in order to fly this thing, we need to look at the prerequisites of what it takes to fly such a ship. So obviously, because I'm Galent, I don't know how to fly Amar ships, or Caldari ships, or Minmatar ships. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and I see that I need Amar frigate level 1. I've already got spaceship command level 1. I think that's a basic skill that everyone starts off with. So I need to train Amar frigate level 1. Now if we go back to the item hanger, you'll notice that they gave it to us, Amar frigate. So if we right click on it, I think, and train now to level 1, Amar frigate level 1 added to training queue and queue activated. So if we come up to here, this is your character sheet. And a lot of this stuff you don't really need to worry about, like certificates are just sort of things you get awarded after completing certain skill trees and things like that. So here, if you train capacitor systems operation up to level 3, in fact I think, oh hang on, no. I think if we look at this, right, so to get capacitor systems operation you also need power grid management level 1. So in order to get the certificate you need that, and then you get that certificate, and then you can train up to get these other 2. So it's a very long winding tree, and I don't think there are any 2 characters on EVE who are identical. But like I said, some of this stuff you don't really need to worry about. Jump clones is going to be important, augmentations is going to be important, and attributes is going to be important. You can remap them. I don't think, back in the day, I think they used to let you select what you did with what. Now you can just remap it whenever you start the game. But you only get to remap once every sort of few months, I think. So you need to be careful. And Plex, if you feel comfortable enough and you're making enough wage in the game, you can buy Plex via in-game credit, which is basically just game time. So instead of buying a subscription, you can earn the money required to get the subscription, basically. So in-game, you don't have to pay extra, or you don't have to pay your subscription fee when you can just buy Plex, which is nice. Your jump clones you're going to need to worry about only if you're prone to dying an awful lot, which hopefully we won't be, fingers crossed, but we're going to try and avoid all that. So if we look up here at skills, we can open our training queue and we'll see that a Mar frigate is in there, but we've actually got a training queue of 24 hours. So a Mar frigate's only going to take 15 minutes and then the training queue will stop. The nice thing about EVE Online is once you leave the game, your training queue continues to level up. So we'll have a look at these other skills that we've got, and I'm pretty sure you can just drag and drop them into the training queue, so that's what we're going to do. Now, before you can just drag and drop them across, if we right click on Scout Drone Operation, you'll see that we'll need drones level 1 before we can even consider getting scout drones. So what we're going to do is we're going to click and drag this drones across here, and that is going to take 8 minutes on top of the 30 minutes that a Mar frigate is going to take. So that's cool, we've got that. Now the nice thing is, now that we've got that in there, we can then open up the drones menu in here, see the skill in there, and we can then train it up to level 2. And then we can do it again, level 3, but obviously it's going to take more time every time you put it into the skill tree. So we'll get rid of that for now. And we'll have a look at what other things we've got going on. Now we know for a fact what ship we're going to be flying to begin with, but we need to be careful about the sort of ship that we're heading in the direction of, the ship that we want. And to find out what ship we want, we're going to go to the market. Now this is the market. If we click on ships, there's a lot to choose from here. It might not look from these sort of 10 menus, but then you open up, let's say we're looking for, I think it's a cruiser, and we click on standard cruiser, and then we've got to choose from, oh no, we don't want a cruiser. They don't, Galent don't make cruisers apparently. Let's see what's in frigates, standard frigates. Okay, so you've got Amar frigates, so you've got the Executioner, the Punisher. Caldari is the Condor and the Heron, and they're pretty weird looking ships if I do say so myself. Look at this bad boy. Pretty weird looking ships. But you've got to remember the sort of type of race Caldari are. They're sort of the CEOs and that sort of thing, so I imagine they're into their whole high-rise looking spaceships and that kind of deal. So that kind of suits their race. We'll check Minmatar first. These guys are a bit rough and tumble, so their stuff's a bit more sort of thrown together. It looks kind of weaker, but I've got a feeling that some of their stuff is actually stronger. Like they get bonuses to shield reactors and things like that. And then you've also got Ore, which are like a mining company. And I think this is just a scout ship for checking out hostile environments and things like that. But still pretty cool looking. They've added a few Ore ships since the last time I played, so it'll be nice to get into these. I love the lights on top of that. That looks like a proper bit Red Dwarfy. Maybe Red Dwarf. So yeah, those are the sort of frigates you can get. Now if we click on Galent, we've got some pretty cool frigates here. We've got the Imicus, which is pretty badass. I like the look of that. I think we've also got the Merlin. Oh no, we've got the Navitaz. The Merlin is not a frigate as far as I remember. The Navitaz is pretty cool as well. It looks a bit like a fish. Whoa, other way. So yeah, that's a pretty cool one as well. Now if we look at the details for this, the Navitaz, say we wanted to get the Navitaz, because we're already Gallant, we're in a position that we can just pick this one up and fly it. Obviously we'll need the funds to pick it up, but we could just pick it up now and fly it away. And you'll see that it's got slightly more hit points than the other ships that we've got. The capacity is pretty good for a ship this size. Drone capacity, however, is terrible. And I actually think, if we look at some of these other ones, it might be the Imicus. If we close the picture for it and just look at the information. Yeah, see, drone capacity on the Imicus is much better. It's 40 meters cubed, and it's got a 20 megabit bandwidth. So you can use up to 4 drones, I think, if they're only 5 bandwidth each. So I'm pretty sure the Imicus would be the one to go for. But again, prerequisites, we're already set, so we can buy this ship. If, on the other hand, we wanted to work towards, let's say, a destroyer, a Galent destroyer, Now these ships take a bit more skill to get to. So this is the Algos, and it's 239 meters long, which is that's probably in terms of Eve still quite a small ship, if I'm honest. Considering the battleships you can get and that sort of thing. But you'll see here that we need Galent Destroyer level 1, Galent Frigate level 3, and then Spaceship Command level 1. You'll also probably notice that it's got much better drone capacity, I imagine, if we look up here. Yeah, so drone bandwidth is 35, but it can house 60 meters cubed of drones. So that's a pretty cool ship. That might be one that we work towards. So what I'm trying to get across here is, as you work towards certain ships and as you progress down certain paths, you're going to want different ships, and for those different ships you're going to need different skills. So say for example I wanted to do a mining run, I probably wouldn't get a procurer. Oh, and another thing you can do is, instead of having, because I've just been searching the station right now, and so I wouldn't have to travel anywhere to go pick up my items. If you set it to solar system, more options become available. Then if you set it to region, a lot more options become available. So say we wanted to get a destroyer now. Now all the races have got them, and if we click on Galent, we've still only got the Algos and the Catalyst. Catalyst is a cool ship as well. I like that. Let's see if I can show you a better example, because now that we're searching the system, or the region rather, it just browse please, it opens up more options and more places that you can buy stuff from. So let's have a look at the battleships and the Galent battleships. Now the Dominix is a bit of a brute. I think this is a drone workhorse. Yeah, so drone capacity 375 and drone bandwidth 125. This thing's a bit of a beast. And I think there's another one called the what's it called? Is it the Dominix? It might be, you know. But you can get different variations of the ships and that kind of thing. I'm kind of confused because I remember there being a ship that looked like this one, that looked like the Dominix but is different, if that makes sense. So there's the Hyperion, and then the Megathron. That's a pretty beastie ship as well. I don't think the drone capacity on that is as good as the Dominix. But anyway, we are just looking at these quickly, and we've looked at the ships. Now we're going to have a quick look at drones to see what sort of utilities we can get. And I think sentry jump. Oh no, these are the long range ones. You don't want one of them. I think light scout drones are the only ones we can pick up once our drone skill is bought and paid for. So prerequisites: scout drone operation level 1, drones level 1, and drones level 1. So that's all good. They're quite cheap drones, 4,750. They do an okay amount of damage. You sort of need to progress with them, if that makes sense. So as you go into more dangerous areas, you're going to be wanting to equip sentries and fighters and fighter bombers and things like that. It's things that just pack a bit harder of a punch, because while they deliver a little bit more firepower than you could on your own, they're not the strongest, and you need to keep an eye on your drones, pull them back when they're in need, and send out replacements and that kind of thing to keep the pressure on. So having a huge drone bay is a massive advantage. So always worth keeping that in mind. If you're thinking about playing this, don't feel like you've got to go down the drone route. There are a million other ways you can play this. There's turrets, there's stealth play. I'm just showing you the route that I'm going to take for now. So I mean, if you wanted to, you could build a ship from the blueprints. Like, you'd have to go around finding all the parts and things like that, but you could actually build, for example, an Algos if you wanted to, out of your just industrial manner, if you really wanted to. But you can see the bill of materials here. You do need skills. This I will get into a little later on, because this is all to do with mining and stuff like that, and buying and manipulating the market. So we'll have a look at this at a later date. But as you can see, this is all like titanium and mexilion and things like that. And you also need skills to be able to build Galente destroyers and things like that. You need industry level 1, but like I said, we'll probably get into that all at a later date. My skills are doing okay. I'm up to 5 minutes on that, so we now know what sort of things we're going to be looking for. So now that drones is up there, I think we can put scout drone. Yeah, okay. We need to wait until drones is done before we can queue scout drone operation. So unfortunately, that's going to take a bit longer, but that's fine. We can. What we can do is we can get into our ship. I think if we apply these changes and then close that. Very good. And then we can close our character screen as well. Since we have got a ship that we can fly, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into it. So to do that, you want to come up to your inventory and click on ship hangar. I think there's another way to do it. I think if you can right click in the hangar bay. Let's just try that quickly. So this is your hangar. If you right click... No, I don't think... Yeah, no, you can't do that no more. Okay, so we'll go back down to inventory, which I've lost. There we go, inventory. And if we click on Destiny Alosis' Velator, then right click on it, we can make it our active ship. So now we are inside the Velator. Our pod is inside the Velator. And we can just have a... I think you right click on this now, yeah. So we can show the info of this ship, but we've already sort of seen it. We got an idea for the sort of drone capacity and things like that. It's not very good. But it has got low, medium, high slots, launcher hard points and turret hard points. And these are all very key depending on what sort of game you want to play. The high slots I think are generally used for weapons. In fact, if we go to the fitting screen, I think that is this one. Yeah, so as you can see on here, we're already kitted out with a mining laser and a electron blaster. These are sort of just for the tutorial missions. You will not last long in EVE with just these basic weapons on this basic ship, believe me. So you've got those, and they tend to go in high slot, like launchers and turrets and things like that tend to go in your high slot. So if we take that out of there, unfit, there we go. So you see this logo here, that means high slot. You see this logo over here means medium slot, and I think that's used for sort of either power modules or cargo upgrade. And then you've got this one down here which is for other upgrades, like smaller upgrades. I think actually this one down here is for cargo bay upgrades, and this one is for sort of your energy, your capacitors and things like that. So if we go back to the inventory, I'm going to need to put that, I'm going to need to refit that civilian miner, because otherwise I won't be able to mine anything. I've also got a salvager here that could go on. But if I put that on, you can see here this bar down here and this bar down here, the power grid and the CPU. And I haven't got an empty slot for it at the moment. With salvagers, you can go out and you just pull wrecks apart and just get the... With low skills, you get basically the bare minimum. With higher skills, you can get more stuff out of it. But again, it's a bit of a hit or miss situation. What I might do is I might attach an afterburner. Oh, I don't have afterburner skill level 1, so that's something I need to learn. But I will do it. We have got a hobgoblin. We can't put it in there at the moment because we haven't got the prerequisite drone skills, but that is something we're definitely going to stick on the next ship we get, because this ship probably isn't going to do anything for us. Like, we're probably not going to use this ship. This would be a nice little... sometimes in EVE it's just nice to have sort of like a shuttle ship, so you can just get from station to station quicker. It's quicker than using your pod, and it just feels a bit more relaxing. You've got a chance to defend yourself and that kind of thing, as opposed to a shuttle, which doesn't really have any room on it at all for anything, I don't think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through the rest of this skill list. I'm going to get comfortable with my skills queue. I'm going to do all that good stuff, and then once that's done and dusted, we will have access to the other ship. We'll jump in that, and then we'll go do... maybe a mission, or we'll go have a little look around the universe, as it were. We'll go check out like the meteorite fields or the asteroid fields and see what it requires to get minerals and things like that, or the other sort of things we can do. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope you're enjoying this series. I've been itching to do this for such a long time, but I won't go off on one of my tangent endings. Thank you very much for watching. I will catch you on the next episode. All the best. Bye bye. Take it easy.